Good morning, everyone. And it's nice to see everyone here and to have everyone online. It's with great joy that I'll be giving the message today, and I welcome you all. We're going to be discussing more of the 12 powers wisdom today, and the color's yellow. So you'll see that the platform assistant, wonderful Mayor, and I are docked in yellow, among other colors. So thank you and welcome. This wouldn't happen without you. We're all such a wonderful community, and I wholeheartedly, as well as Valerie and the rest of the board, welcome each of you here today. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity, in person and online. All right, so join me in our diversity statement. Let's go. Unity of Richmond is a safe and welcoming spiritual home that stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion for all people, including but not limited to color, age, ability, gender expression, culture, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, and belief. Yep, it's a good place to be. And we have a wonderful word today for our daily word. It is prosperity. Yes. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. Sometimes I may worry, wondering if I will have enough of what I need. If thoughts of lack or limitation arise, I lift my thoughts from the things of the world to the truth of God. I focus my mind on the richness of divine life within me. I feel calm and assured as I remember I live in an abundant universe and am heir to everything God is. Even when my worldly fortunes shift, I am abundant in spirit. As I align my thinking with divine mind in prayer, I become receptive to divine ideas that prosper me. I claim prosperity and feel empowered as I do. My prosperity stems from my oneness with God. I count my blessings, feel grateful, and trust with understanding faith. I have enough. Psalm 36:8, they feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. And our prosperity statement again, I'll say it once and I invite you to affirm it twice again with me after I state it. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. And together, I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. And again, I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. And so it is.
Good morning. Let's all stand and sing this together. I am spirit. I am holy. I am sacred. I am love. You are spirit. You are holy. You are sacred. You are love. We are spirit. We are holy. We are sacred. We are love. We are spirit. We are holy. We are sacred. We are love.
Such a blessed song. Thank you so much. So I invite you to sit back in your chair, feel the back of the chair supporting you, have your feet flat on the ground and connect with Mother Earth. And I invite you to soften or close your eyes as is comfortable for you to do. And taking a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in and out. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still. Be. I invite you to be. Be in the knowingness that you are holy. You are sacred. You are love. And let your heart vacuum up every speck of wonderfulness and prosperity that that represents. And I am grateful for this beloved Unity community and all of our online friends for being the spiritual beings that we are and gathering together today. And so it is, and amen. All right, and I invite you to say the Metro Richmond prayer with me. We pray for the criminal justice system in metropolitan Richmond, for the police, judges, lawyers, and court personnel, correctional officers and institutions, juvenile detention facilities, and probation officers. Yes, and so it is. And let's see, I think I got a few opportunities going on today. So I will just say a word about open mic night coming up on Friday, June 14th, and see if I see Lynn Rafferty. Come on down.
Hi, everybody. I just want to invite everyone to come on out. It's going to be a fun night. It's Friday, June 14th, and remember, that's Father's Day weekend. So you could even, if you don't play music or anything like that, you could write a poem, bring your dad, say, present the poem for your dad. We would love to have more people. If you have youth here, we need to talk to the youth about this, because we would love to have more, them participating. So we're also going to have a little bar of summer coolers, non-alcoholic, so that'll be fun too. That's at 6:30, and then the program begins at 7. So I hope you all come out. We'd love to see you. I think it's going to be a really fun night. Okay, thanks.
Yes, so bring yourself and bring your youth in more ways than one. Okay, so let's see. Oh, look who's speaking coming up. We need to spike her hair a bit more, though. Okay, so God Answers, Get Questioned. Natasha helped me out with that title. Isn't that a rocking out great title? Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, I love that title. So God Answers, Get Questioned. So this is the lead in service to the workshop that I will be doing on the 30th. And so the the talk itself on the 23rd will be standalone, but it will be a bit of a teaser, and I invite you to join me on the 30th for the full Peace and, let me see here now, make sure I have this right. Where is it? Peace Through Inquiry Workshop. But after I do this talk, there's a town hall meeting. So the town hall meeting is going to be after the service at 12:45, and there'll be light potluck luncheon, bring something to eat, a side item or dessert, and we're going to get together and have a good old town hall. Okay, and then our next announcement, featuring our beloved Valerie K. Gunch and Dan O'Neill, they will be facilitating Chant Night. I'm going to read from the paper here because I can't read that, but y'all might be able to. So join us for another beautiful chant night. When we chant, we lift the vibration of the community and raise our energy into peace and wellness. Join us for chanting and meditation with Unity of Richmond in person and live stream. So you can check that out on the Facebook page and also our website, unityrva.org/livestream. And again, that's the 26th at 7 p.m. here at Unity of Richmond. And what a treat. I think the last, who came to the last contemplative service? Yeah, a number of y'all did. And it was really, really quite wonderful. So I invite you to attend, whether you've been before or would want to join us for this upcoming one. That is going to be, let's see. Oh, that's going to be wonderful for me because we're going to do that contemplative service and then we'll do my workshop after. So I will be all spiritualized up. So the contemplative service is Sunday, June 30th for the 11 a.m. service. And there you go. There's the workshop that I'm going to be doing. That's Peace Through Inquiry. And this is going to be an introduction to the work of Byron Katie. And if you've come before, do come again, because I'm going to make this, there'll be some instruction, of course, because some people are so new to the work that will benefit them. But I'm going to make it a very organic workshop so that people can work through their concern. I'm going to be looking for a couple of people to share out loud with others, but you can share as much or little as you choose. But you will have an opportunity to work through a concern and clear out space so that your affirmative prayer can take hold in the space that you've created by doing the work. So should be a good time. I love the Thomas Merton quote, "The unanswered questions aren't nearly as dangerous as the unquestioned answers." So join me in sallowing forth in questioning your answers. And now I'd like to invite up the wonderful Debbie for another announcement.
Thank you. So this Friday, we have a build at Habitat, and I am in charge of pulling together a lunch for somewhere around 20 to 25 people. I mean Saturday, I'm sorry, the 15th. And I have a sign-up sheet if anybody could help me with this. We still have lots of things we need, like lunch meats and cheeses and breads and chips and anything you can think of. So I'm going to pass this around. I can use help at the site, but if you can't do that, as long as you have it here at the church by 10 o'clock, because I have to come and pick up some tables and I can carry it to the site. Okay.
My turn.
It always seems there's too much space between where I am and where I'd like to be. And yet, when I stop to look around at the good life I have found, I can't help but see here and now I have all that I need. Here and now, this is where I'm meant to be. And somehow, tomorrow, come what may, I will be okay as I learn to love here and now. I'm always running a half a step behind the image of my life that's in my mind. And yet, when I let myself slow down, I see beauty all around, and I'm reminded once again, here and now, I have all that I need. Here and now, this is where I'm meant to be. And somehow, tomorrow, come what may, I will be okay as I learn to love. Here and now, I have all that I need. Here and now, this is where I'm meant to be. And somehow, tomorrow, come what may, I will be okay as I learn to love here and now. Here and now. Here and now. Here and now. Thank you.
Hola again. So my name is Mayor Taylor, and I'm here for a pride spot. Looks like a pride spot to me, right? All right, so let's see. Have you ever wondered what old gay people at the people at the higher end of the autism spectrum have in common? So some folks on the spectrum make an effort to pass off as neurotypical, or at least fit in with a neurotypically biased world that insists on conventional neurotypical behaviors. Some folks on the spectrum that I've worked with call this masking. And by the end of a stint of masking, I've been told that they long to interact with somebody else on the spectrum, because no longer do they have to maintain uncomfortable eye contact or refrain from neurodumping on a topic of keen interest, or feel the need to take turns in conversation the way that neurotypical people insist upon. And after a while of masking, I've been told that they often feel exhausted. So given that this is Pride Month, I wanted to share with you about an older lesbian woman who I've done some work with in the past. Prior to kindergarten, she was aware that she was attracted to females. Somehow she knew to keep the secret. She knew that it would not be okay to be known, to be seen. And over the years, she pretended to be attracted to boys and maintained her secret. Growing up at the time that she did, and mostly in the South, this was a wise, but of course costly decision. Because similar to masking as neurotypical, when a person is on the spectrum, it can take a lot of energy to mask and pass as being straight. So after a third of her life passed, she more or less began to come out. So you can imagine there was a lot of exhausting passing going on, and even after that. In college, she went to a concert and experienced a high, not because of pot, but because if you went to a Tret Fury concert back then, you'd find yourself in a sea of lesbians. And for her, this represented a few hours of time in which there was absolutely no need to pass. No demands to mask at all, but to just be. Thankfully, today it's much different. We can have a lesbian reverend. Imagine that. Now women can get married to one another, but the welcoming of diversity has been suffering of late. Hate crimes and discrimination have never entirely stopped and are now on the rise again for the LGBTQ community. So a place like Unity of Richmond, with its awesome diversity statement, its gay flag flying, is a pretty good darn place to be in June for Gay Pride Month, for someone like the woman I was sharing about. And I've worked with her all my life too, and I imagine I'll probably be working with her for a long time to come. She can use all the help she can get, because for alas, she's me. And this old lesbian would like to wish you a very happy Pride Month. Thank you. Thank you. Love y'all. So, in honor of that, to stretch your diversity wings, should you choose and have the time, I know I'm going to be going to the Course in Miracles right after our service that we have every other Sunday. But the Big Gay Pride Market will be happening today from 12 to 4 p.m. at Diversity Richmond. So, and they have all kinds of LGBTQ oriented products, but other just cool stuff. Jewelry, candles, soaps, you know, that kind of thing. Furniture, really? Cool, didn't know that. Okay, so if you would like to attend, you can see me after the service and I can give you the exact address and whatnot. But that's the Big Gay Pride Market. Thank you all for being such wonderful, welcoming folks.
Thank you for that. That's one thing I do love about Unity, is that we are welcoming. And you can see that people traverse different paths, and we transform and we change on those paths. And then when you can have someone who is welcomed and has gone through a transition of their own and share it, it lets us know that we all have that capacity. And that's part of what I'm talking about today on wisdom. And as I said before, I'm yellow. Because yellow is the color of wisdom, the light of us shining inside. I'm going to be speaking from two books, The Revealing Word and Lessons in Truth, and referencing about 5 others that I didn't bring with me, but I will quote who they are. So I am talking on wisdom today, and I am going to be citing wisdom teachings from the Unity movement, but also other movements, because wisdom is an innate capacity in all humans. Innate means it's in there. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to ask for it. You've got it. And I'll start with this. There is a unity of spirit, a common unity at the center of all people. When people from any religion, denomination, culture go beyond just belonging and really seek spiritual understanding, they move inward towards God. And in Lessons in Truth, Lesson 9, The Secret Place of the Most High, Emily Cady says, at the great heart of humanity, there is a deep and awful homesickness that never has been and never can be satisfied with anything less than a clear, vivid consciousness of the indwelling presence of God. And the Revealing Word says, wisdom is intuitive knowing, the voice of God within us as the source of our understanding. And it continues to say, wisdom and divine understanding come from the Spirit of Christ within us. The conscious attainment of divine wisdom and understanding is letting go of limited beliefs. And Emily Cady continues by saying, when you have learned to abandon yourself to infinite spirit and have seasons of doing this daily, you will be surprised at the marvelous change that will be wrought in you without any conscious effort of your own. So both the Revealing Word and Emily Cady already are telling us that we have this indwelling presence of God. This is the premise of our second unity premise. We are made of the essence of God. You've already got it. And then they give us stepping stones for uncovering our wisdom. The first one be letting go. The conscious attainment of divine wisdom is letting go of limited beliefs. So this is a process that occurs over time as you study spiritual truth principles. We realize that we have a belief or we've been taught something in our childhood that no longer resonates with us. It just doesn't make sense anymore. One such belief might be the transformation that occurs when you think that you have to reach outside or ask outside of yourself for something from God, and you realize it comes from inside. That's a transformative moment. And then you continue to transform where you start seeing the divine. You see with divine eyes. You see the role of goodness in all things. You understand and see and experience this goodness. And that's our first unity principle. God is omnipresence. God, the goodness. Omnipresence, everywhere present and everywhere in space and not in space. Then Dwayne Yahoo, in her book, Voices of Our Ancestors, Cherokee Teachings from the Wisdom Fire, she says, wisdom fire is our pure nature. We're calling us to enlightened action. That fire of clear mind is in everyone. And to remove any obscuration of its clarity is the duty of all people, that each one may remember and find our way again to the source of our being. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And then the second stepping stone, Emily Cady says, is abandon ourselves to infinite spirit. Now, I know abandon can be kind of a trigger word these days, but we always have to kind of pay attention to when the word came about, and she was in the 1820s. And so for her, she said that abandon is entering the secret place inside, a place of meeting between the Christ at the center of your being and your consciousness. So it's a stepping in, a stepping inside. She says we must drop the idea that this place of realization of our divinity can be given to us by external sources or another human being. This is an experiential awareness, not something you learn. So I often think of this as resting into, settling into, stepping into yourself, your Christ, your divine essence inside. And the third stepping stone she mentions is a daily practice. Have seasons of doing this daily. Emmett Fox in Find and Use Your Inner Power calls it God's hour. He writes, God's hour is the most important event in the day. This is the time you read spiritual books, meditate, and pray. The essential thing is that God's hour be the most important in your 24 hours. And in Genesis and the creation story, we're told the Sabbath is a day of rest. And the revealing word defines Sabbath. The Sabbath is kept anytime we enter into spiritual consciousness and rest from our thoughts of temporal things. Every day is a Sabbath in which we retire into spirit and worship God. So it's directing us that this is a daily event and can happen anytime during the day. So by letting go of limited beliefs with the daily devotion, turning our attention to God, the goodness, we expand our wisdom. Emily Cady describes our inner wisdom beautifully as the vivid consciousness of the indwelling presence of God. And in Voices of Our Ancestors, Dwani says, each one carries the seed of truth. Our shared life is the garden in which to plant and bring it forth. Once again, in the secret place of the Most High, Emily Cady continues, be still and let Spirit, the I Am, work in us, that we may indeed be made a new creature. And this comes from Scripture, Galatians 6:15. So being made a new creature is developing our wisdom capacity. So we all have this innate wisdom inside, but it doesn't come fully opened. It's like a box, a present, and you have to unwrap it. And the more you unwrap it, the more you're aware of what's inside. You can do a little bit and it's a peekaboo. And then you open a little bit more and a little bit more, and then you have the whole box inside wisdom. And that's what happens when we do our spiritual practices and we practice understanding and lifting the presence of God in our life. So let's begin to break down the statement. It says, be still and let Spirit. So let's take a peek at stillness. Stillness is defined in the revealing word as a mental state of infinite peace, rest, and tranquility, where man's senses are hushed and he abides in God. Be still and know that I am God. And that came from Psalm 46:10. So stillness is the doorway to which you explore your own divinity. The experience of stillness is a human experience. It means everyone can have it. Stillness is likened to a pause or a space. The pause is there between your breaths, between your thoughts, just under the churning surface of your thoughts. The stillness is deep, reaching into timelessness and affinity. And when you find and focus on the space between, the imprint of the moment of stillness permeates your brain or your mind, and it transforms it to where you start having more pauses, more stillness, a quiet mind. And what happens when you have a quiet mind? You can settle deeper inside. Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth Awakening to Your Life's Purpose says, it has been said, stillness is the language of God, and everything else is a bad translation. He says that stillness is another name for space. Becoming conscious of stillness whenever we encounter it in our lives will connect us with the formless and timeless dimension within ourselves, that which is beyond thought. Thought is a form. You are never more essentially, more deeply yourself than when you are still. And in Unity, we practice entering the silence. This is a state of consciousness entered into for the purpose of putting your mind in touch with divine mind, which is what we call the essence of God, the absolute, the space you are beyond thought. And when you're here, the revealing word says you listen to the still small voice. This is our fourth unity principle. The still small voice comes from inside as a spiritual knowing. And each time we experience divine mind, we expand our capacity for wisdom and divine understanding. So unity reminds us that we have this innate ability also as being humans, that we can always focus all of our mind, our consciousness, our thoughts on everything that's happening in the world. Or we have the capacity of turning inside, directing our mind inside, directing our consciousness inside. And then you connect with, or you don't connect, you have the ability to rest in, to experience the absolute, your divine, infinite wisdom inside. Mary Morrissey in Building Your Field of Dreams says, build a relationship with the still small voice of inspired insight. All of us recognize the voice of our dearest friends. When they call, even if we haven't talked to them for many years, we recognize the voice. She says the voice of God is no different. You need only listen in the stillness. Over time, as you practice listening to and following God's guidance, you develop a way of knowing. As you grow to recognize the voice, you trust its wisdom. So again, she's just saying this is a practice. And it's not like you're listening with your external ear. You develop a way of listening internally to what arises. In the Gifts from A Course in Miracles, it says, try to identify with the part of your mind where stillness and peace reign forever. The recognition of God is the recognition of yourself. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. So be still and let spirit. Letting spirit might seem passive, but it is actually a very active transformation process. It is an internal process that calls us to develop and utilize all of our 12 ideas that we've been reviewing one at a time through the course of the year. We have a class this next Wednesday for the last class discussing these. It helps us with spiritual upliftment and unfoldment. It takes internal strength, devotion, zeal, renunciation, which is releasing old beliefs, and understanding in order to develop your wisdom. Emmett Fox once again says, don't try, let. When you try to do things, you're working from the outside. When you let God do them through you, you're working from the inside, and success must happen. Open every door in the house of your soul to God. Have no place where the light of his presence does not shine. So even those icky little corners that you don't want anyone to see, let the light shine. Eckhart Tolle says, awakening is a shift in consciousness in which thinking and awareness are separate. It is a process to undergo. Instead of being lost in your thinking, when you are awake, you recognize yourself as the awareness behind it. That's a big concept. But he's once again directing us that if you imagine that your life is a movie, the Lessons in Truth mentions this often, and the screen, the blank screen, is the absolute. The screen is your infinite beingness inside. And the aperture on the camera controls how much light can go through to the screen. The aperture is your mind, and the light is your divinity. So what flashes on the screen depends on how clear your mind is. All of these teachings are teaching us that if you quiet your mind, you pause, you allow your mind to settle and rest in divine mind, the aperture opens wider. And then you come for more of your essence. There's not two of you in there. The light infuses into everything that you do. And Mary Morrissey gives us a really practical solution to letting God. Focus on the good, even when it is invisible to the eye, and the good in yourself will be revealed. Be still and let Spirit, the I Am, work in us, that we may indeed be made a new creature, that we may have the mind of Christ in all things. So Paul Hasselbeck in Heart-Centered Metaphysics describes what is meant by a new creature. When we awaken to the reality of our being, the light begins to break upon us from within, and we know the truth. So the light just kind of, in Trinity we sometimes call it chemicalization, when you're transforming. Those old habits, those old thought patterns just start kind of melting away, and the light shines brighter and brighter. When we use our wisdom capacity from our realm of inner knowing, we wisely know how to use our divine capacities. We have the mind of Christ. You can then call yourself a mystic when you prioritize your inner quest for wisdom and truth. So I wanted to look up what mystic is. And the dictionary defines a mystic as a person who seeks to obtain unity with or absorption in the deity or the absolute through contemplation and surrender. It also says one who believes in the spiritual knowing of truths beyond the intellect. So Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were mystics. They knew truth is timeless, and the ideas they pioneered through metaphysical studies were not new. They've been here since the beginning of the Big Bang. They were introducing concepts that were innovative at the time because most religious institutions in America were Orthodox at the time. So these were new concepts, kind of shaking the paradigm, shifting people into a new way of thinking. They saw Jesus as a wayshore in the quest for self-realization and self-unfoldment. And Emily Cady references this in the chapter The 12 Lessons in Truth, chapter 12. We must begin to see Jesus as the great discoverer of the innate divinity, the supreme revealer of the truth of man. So by definition, Jesus is a mystic. He's also a teacher and a wayshore. A wayshore is someone who shows the way. And he spoke truth. John 14:9, I and the Father are one, and he who has seen me has seen the Father. So here he's saying that he had reached the point where all of his actions were coming from Christ, the nature of God, the essence of God within. And in John 8:58, he says, before Abraham, I am. So that's our spiritual name, I am. It's the essence of who you are. You're the same person when you were a baby, as you are as a toddler, as you are as an adult, as you are as an older person. Who is that? That's who you are inside. Your roles change, your fears change, your likes and dislikes. But what is there that threads through all of it? And you were there before the beginning of time. And in John 10:37, the Father is in me and I am in the Father. And with all of these statements, he wasn't just talking about himself, because he always referred to the I am. And the I am is the name of all humans. So he was talking about every one of us. And in Luke 17:21, he says, the kingdom of God is within. So he's saying we can find in ourselves the same thing he found in himself. Matthew 11:28, he says, come to me and I will give you rest. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. So just imagine him turning to his fellow beings, which is you and me too, and saying, come sit with me for a while. Let me help you to see as I see, to feel the depths of your being the way I feel mine. Let me lead you to the Mount Olympus and to the wonderful world of Christ that you have inside, where you will know and know that you are the limitless expression of Christ. You know that you know, you see that you see, you hear that you hear. So there's something very real in the teachings of Jesus, and they've been around for 2,000 years, and they're as relevant today as they were then, because he's speaking to each of us. He says, to find God, look within, and you will find yourself, which is God being you. To find God, look within, and you'll find yourself, which is God being you. Our second unity principle again. As Emily Cady says, when you have learned to abandon yourself to infinite spirit and have seasons of doing this daily, you will be surprised at the marvelous change that will be wrought in you without any conscious effort on your own part. And Mary Morrissey, to remember, says, build a relationship with that still small voice of inspired insight. It's you. All the people I referenced today are mystics. You do not need to be a writer, a teacher, recognized by others, or even have a special occupation to be a mystic. Each of us are mystics when we actively work on our own upliftment. Of course, we each continue with our lives, doing the things we do, knowing the things we know. We still have our mind, but we're transforming our mind with divine essence and discerning our thoughts and our actions through our innate capacity of wisdom. And so it is. So now we're going to settle into the pause, the space. So now just allow yourself to settle into your seat. In that easy upright position, you can have your feet on the floor, and you can scoot yourself back in the seat so that you're in a comfortable position, because the body is the form. It's the form of God. You are an individualized form, as unique as the snowflakes are unique. And so when we settle our body, we rest our body, we allow the chair and the earth to support us in an upright position. We're allowing the opportunity to use the body and the breath as a doorway inside. And as you settle in, notice your breathing. Let your breath be easy and natural, spontaneous. When you become aware of your breath, it might change it slightly, and that's okay. There's no need to direct your breath. Simply notice your breath. Let it find its own pace and rhythm and flow. Notice your breath has 4 parts. It flows in, and there's a pause. And then it flows out, and there's a pause. It flows in, and there's a pause. And it flows out, and a pause. Notice the pause. Short or long, the pause is always there. One pause might be naturally longer or shorter. One pause might naturally lengthen as you notice it. Just notice the pause. It can be like when you're in a swing and the swing glides up and there's a pause, a place where the swing hovers. And then it starts gliding back and there's another pause where the swing hovers before it swings back. Look into, feel your way into the pause. One on the inside, one on the outside. One on the inside, one on the outside. One on the inside. Cinch your way into the pause. It is a place of peace, inner knowing, beingness itself. And so take a nice long in breath with a nice easy emptying. The pause of stillness is always there. You can certainly take time, God's hour every day, but the pause is always there. The opportunity for stillness, even when you're being active. And take another breath in and out. As you continue to settle into the pause, resting in the pause as we join together in song. Thank you for that beautiful pause between the words.
That was absolutely lovely. Thank you. Thank you all. And thank you, Barbara. So I invite our wonderful ushers to come on down. All right. And as they're heading in this direction, please recite our prosperity blessing with me. Divine love expressing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. And so it is. We're going to have some music.
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear intention. Declare what will be, and then watch it come to me. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. Every day I'm wasting my time thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. Declare what will be, and then watch it come to me. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there's nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power inside of me. I've got the power, you got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, we've got the power, we've got the power. Sing it together. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. One more time, and I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. Woo! I got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power.
Woohoo! We got the power. All right, all right, all right. That was wonderful. Okay, So thank you, ushers, for ushering. And together, let's say, we give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. And so it is. All right, so we have a few thank yous going on after I check for youth. Got some youth? Come on up, youth.
1, 2, 3, and. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. And the light, in 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 the light of God.
All right, who wants to tell us something?
All right, so in the youth class today, we talked about the third power and our mind creating our thoughts and our feelings. And we read The Scribble Spot. Anybody heard that one before? No? Okay. So it's about all the colors. Yeah, and when we scribble them, and when we scribble them together to get our feelings out, but they're different, each color means something. So red, angry, orange, bold, green, nature, yellow, happy, and gray, anxiety, and then blue, sad, and pink, love. And so we just did a couple of scribbles so that we have that to know. All right.
Yeah, sure. So today in YOU, we had Delaney and Sage who's out here in the hallway, and they helped with the little takes, the youth, and we went outside and splashed in the fountain. Yeah, sorry, they're a little wet, but we had fun, and we wrote some positive messages on the sidewalk as well, and we had a chance to kind of talk with the youth and then play with the kids. It was a really nice way to interact. So.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, and some other thank yous going on. Thank you for our youth and our teachers. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for our prayer chaplains. Do we have a prayer chaplain? Oh, yeah, here we go. Come on up, prayer chaplains. Thank you, thank you. Our wonderful musicians. Yes. Woo! Yes. We thank our AV team in the back. Thank you, team. We thank our wonderful licensed Unity teacher and speaker and yogi extraordinaire. Yes, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. And we thank each other and all of us present in person and online for this beloved community that we are. And I am grateful for you. Thank you. And let's see. I think we have our prayer for protection coming up. And together, I invite you to stand and affirm with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God watches us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let me speak it with me. Let this be the moment now. With every I take, this be my joyous vow. To take in every Bye.